It's time for the Empowering You Show. This is a lively television show that is a driving force to positive transformation in every viewer's life. Our goal is simple. It is to elevate our audience members with clear, practical, helpful advice and engaging activities. We're here dedicated to sparking a journey of self-growth and empowerment, making sure each episode is a step towards professional and personal achievement. That's how we empower you on the Empowering You Show. So get ready, it's time. Hey, it's another Thursday. Super excited. The sun is shining. Oh my goodness. I am so grateful to be here with you this afternoon. This is the Empowering You Show. If you've just chimed in for the first time, you're in for a treat, listening to some tips and techniques on how to grow professionally and personally, even if you're not in business. So let me introduce you to someone who is very familiar with the show, the co-host. She is the sexy, sassy, oh so smart, sensational Shawnee Smith.
And don't forget spicy. I'm just saying. How are you today?
I'm great and grateful every day, my sister. So glad to always see you. You make the day complete when I see you on Thursdays. It's just so cool to see you in person. I love the technology that we can see each other now. And it just, it's become a norm, if you will, to see people on Zoom. So we've broken down those barriers where we have to be there in person. But I'm glad to see you today. What's going on in your world?
I mean, it's awesome that we've actually met in person several times, like, at the fabulous retreats, book launches, so we're not really in Brooklyn, people. Just saying.
You didn't have to tell them that.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Don't tell them this in the bridge, for real. All right. But I'm so happy to be here. I am so full. I literally just feel like, oh, this ride is so exciting. Like, it's like being on a roller coaster. Like, when you're going up that hill, it's going to be a little bit scary, but it's going to be fun too. That's like how I'm feeling right now. Like with every step of the way, it's just like, ooh, what's it going to be? Like, I'm just expecting some big things. I'm expecting some great things to happen. And that expectation, like a kid on Christmas Eve, like that expectation is so exciting. So excited.
Well, I'm glad you're excited. I know I'm excited for what's coming up next Thursday. Next Thursday evening, we have an event coming up that is going to blow your socks away. If you have not gotten your ticket yet, just go to the link. It's going to be showing in a minute. It's bit.ly/warrior within. If you are a business owner or professional who feels like your messages, verbal or written, are being ignored, therefore you're feeling ignored, this is for you. If you have been sending out promotion after promotion or going into your office and talking to your boss and they're not listening to you, these are techniques and tips that are going to help you solidify, clarify, and give you confidence to go in and ask for that next raise. If you are a person who has been trying all the things, you've done branding coaching, speaker development, personal development, leadership courses, and nothing seems to stick, those are just pieces of the puzzle.
Right.
What I teach my clients is the core of what you want. The core of what you want is to be heard, to be seen, to make an impact in your professional and personal life. This class is for you. This program is only $97. It was $897 when I first premiered it in 2019. Yes, I have been doing a similar thing, but it's all new. We even have a special bonus at the end, and I won't let you peep the spoiler alert. So with that being said, what do you have to say about it, Shawnee?
For me, I would say even when you truly are the best, but you don't know it, you can't convey it.
That's true.
you really have to learn how to build your confidence. And who better to do that for you than a coach? Because you can't see the full picture when you're part of the frame.
That's
You
right.
know, so when you're shying away, you're not sure what you have, but everyone else is telling you that you have it, you got to work on this.
Yes, the
You got
mindset
to
is
work on
very
that.
important.
Mhm.
Yes. And so we are super excited about that. We also want you to save the date for October. What's the dates again? 24th?
24th through the 27th, Ocean City, Maryland.
Yes, women only, unfortunately, or fortunately, as the case may be. Women.
Unfortunately.
Oh, we are doing the thing again. This is our third annual. I am super excited. We know some of the trainers and speakers that are going to be there already. We're going to give you the full list in a few days. And we're also going to give you more details coming up very, very soon. But in the
I cannot
meantime, there's
I
another
can't wait.
event that we'll talk about at another time. But it's a leadership event. You might want to look out for that. Not might. You want to look out for that.
You want to look out for that. Yes. You want to make sure that if this year you don't let any opportunity pass you by, you get on every opportunity that God presents to you because it's being presented to you for a reason.
For a reason.
Get
That's
on
right.
it, take action. Let's do it because what they say, faith
That
without
part.
work is what? Is what?
Dead. Faith without works
Right.
is
Dead,
dead.
dead, dead,
Dead.
dead.
Like,
Right. Do your part.
this is the year of collaboration. If you are
Absolutely.
not connecting with someone, we had been in a lockdown, shutdown state for quite some time. And people are kind of still a little iffy about whether they want to go out and be out and about like scouts on routes because people are still sick and
Right.
they don't know they're sick. And the ones that do know they're sick are still coming out among people. But here's the thing, whether it's virtual or whether it's in person, we are in a time where we have to collaborate one with another. We cannot, hear me, we cannot do it all by ourselves. We need a team, a collaborative of people to help us, encourage us. The pieces of the puzzle that we may not know how to do, there's somebody else whose strength is exactly that. And so
Right.
those are the people that you want to come together with. Now, I hope you're not one of those people who thinks you can do it all, or one of those people who says nobody can do it as well as I do, because that's not how entrepreneurship works.
No.
So
That's what you
it
call a
is,
jack of all trades, a master of none.
yeah, that Jane of all trades thing didn't work. I tried it. I promise you, it didn't work. That's why I
No.
have the sensationally smooth, sexy, sassy, spicy Shawnee
All
Smith
right,
as the
that's
director.
spicy. Okay, okay, we good there. No, and the same goes for you. I'm like, help me, I can't do blah blah blah. Why am I going to struggle to try to figure out something when I have literally a tech genius right here?
I
Hey,
wouldn't say
listen, I
tech
don't know how to do
genius.
this.
I do know a little thing, one or two things about technology, but
Mm-mm.
that part.
Well, those one or two things you know are more than the one thing that I know. So yes, no.
Yeah.
Why am I going to spend this time? Like we have to really like be focused on how we spend our time,
Yes.
and
That's
it
a
doesn't
great
mean
segue, Shawnee.
yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about spending your time. So many entrepreneurs do this, but I had not solidified it,
Mhm.
curated, cultivated it, gotten it under my belt, where you spend blocks of time doing whatever it is, tasks.
Mhm.
Because what happens to me sometimes is I get distracted. I'm easily distracted at some points. And it depends on what the distraction is, whether I even get back to the path I'm supposed to be on. If that's you, then this again, Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click the link, get in where you fit in, because you're not going to want to miss this
No,
event. This event
incredible
was
investment.
was previously represent your brand, period. This is the warrior within, which has a confidence boosting element layer on top. And then the icing and candles is you get, oh,
No,
to give it away.
right. You're not telling them.
About to give it away. No.
You're not telling
So
them. I'm telling you, it's that confidence boost part. That's the piece that we forget, because that gives you the momentum to keep going. Then you start to
oh,
toot, that toot your own horn thing, that people have always said not to do, but why
you
not?
have to in business. You have
Right.
to.
I gotta celebrate every little step.
Right.
And
Because
as you do it, you just go higher and you high, and you have the confidence, the
how are
faith.
you going to know? How are people going to know what you do confidently if you're confident in what you're doing? And
Mhm.
so I'm super excited about that. What do we have coming up next?
I really want to just take a second to highlight a superhero that I admire, and I'm not alone in that. But really, this person, it's their resilience.
Yeah.
I don't care how many people say no. God already told me yes, and I'm just going to keep doing it, no matter how crazy I look. How many times somebody says, "Let it go, get a job, and stop." Imagine if just one person would have convinced this person to stop.
Yeah, that's our superhero spotlight that we want to talk about. We have a superhero that most of us know, but if you don't, let's take a look at this superhero.
And when it got really dark, I give you two words that helped me: encourage yourself. If the people around me were negative and naysayers, and listen, I had people that loved me that told me to stop. I was never going to make it. They weren't. My mother told me I was never going to make it. It wasn't that she was trying to hurt me. It's just that she couldn't see what God had planted in me. And her vision for me was to go and work at the phone company, make a few $100s a month and get some benefits. She would have been very happy with that. But when God puts something down on the inside of you and it starts growing, it will stretch everything inside of you till it gets out. So there I was in this moment, trying to get to this place, trying to push, trying to make it happen. And I had to encourage myself. And what I mean by that is something to get away from everything negative that's around you. Block it out with all you can. Block it out completely and start putting on music and read things and read the word and things that encourage you, things that are going to make you stronger inside, because the strength, when it gets in this, comes from the soul. Everything else got to get in line. I think it comes from within first.
Yes, like that
Absolutely.
warrior within.
That's
Okay.
the warrior. That's the warrior. So
Yeah.
his strength, let's talk about that for a minute. That strength that comes from within, knowing what you were assigned to by God.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're really going to be talking about. What is that thing that nobody else can do better than you the way you do it? That's the thing that you and I and anyone in the world who wants to be aligned with their purpose has to know. And I walked around many years not knowing, hearing, kind of thinking, kind of maybe,
Right.
but not knowing to stand in my truth and not be dissuaded by anybody else, what anybody else thought I should do. Because I did that. I should be a construction worker. I should be a boutique owner. I should be a network marketer. I did all those things because people said, you would be good at this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe I do have one or two talents more than maybe somebody else next to me, but
Right.
that's not the point. The point is, what did you get gifted with? What's your talent that you're just putting on a shelf and going around this world like we have all the time in the world to do what we were assigned to do,
Yeah.
and just forgetting about what you were assigned to do? How did that resonate with you, Shawnee?
I mean, a lot of times you have to stand 10 toes down in what you heard, because a lot of times we know what our gift is, right? But we can't see how we can make money from that gift, or we get caught up in the fact that perhaps I should be a lawyer because I can make more money doing that, when you were gifted to, say, help children or something, right?
Right.
And we get so caught up in, well, the money is not there, or how can I make a living off of that we let it go. But imagine, just
Mm.
talking about going back to Tyler, imagine if he got the job at the phone company. All the lives that he has touched and impacted in his career thus far, Imagine what a big gaping hole that would be if you went to
Wow.
work for the phone company because the money wasn't there.
Yeah. You know, that really kind of resonated with me. That kind of stuck a knife in my heart for a moment when I think about in 1976. I know some of y'all that wasn't even born yet. Okay, I get it. Um, I went to school to be an actress, and the first obstacle threw me off my square. The first obstacle was an instructor who said, "You're never going to make it. You're never going to be an actress. You're never going to be on stage." Now, fast forward some 50 years later, maybe I'm not an actress in the way I was thinking,
Right.
but certainly I have been on a plethora of stages.
Internationally, honey.
And I've gotten to use my acting ability on those stages, on those pages. And so, yeah, it came full circle, but it took me a lot of years to unhear what I heard. Dr. West says something about a person who is influential and a person who is in authority and a person who tells you things repeatedly begins to take hold in your soul. And once it does, it's very difficult to dismantle it.
Right.
So that's why we have to be careful what we say to our children.
What we say to our children, who we choose to be around, just because they are family you're not tied to that. You're not tied to that. Your network and the people that are talking to you and you allow to speak death to you or allow to speak life to you are so important. What do they say? It's easier to raise a child than to repair a man.
Yes. That's facts. That's facts.
It's so important, but it's so also important to know that we can reprogram the program that has been put
that part.
Us.
Yes, that part. And even all of that being truth, the greater truth is what we say to ourselves.
Oh my gosh.
That inner critic, that personality that we have that says, you're not pretty enough, you're not strong enough, you're not smart enough, you're never going to be anything. That
who's going to listen to you?
We replay it over and over and over. I was once asked by a coach of mine, if someone walked up to you and said, "You're ugly, you're fat, you're never going to be anything," what would you do? See, I wouldn't say then. I said, I punch them dead in their face. He said, "Well, then why do you talk to yourself like that?"
Don't we do it? Make a mistake and like, oh, that was so stupid.
Right. No, you don't ever call yourself stupid, because my godmother had this saying to me all the time. She'd say, "You're not better than anyone else, but you're as good as everyone else. And you are beautiful because God don't make no junk." I took that, and I'm saying that to anyone out there who's feeling less than. Let this be your mantra. God doesn't make any junk. You didn't come to this planet for no purpose, as a waste. You came here for a purpose. Now it's up to you to discover that purpose and get aligned and get on the path. And I promise you, coming to the next event on Thursday, next week, a week from today.
Yes.
Represent your brand. Unleash the warrior within is what you need to do if you're feeling that way. I'm looking forward to seeing those who are already signed up. It's a limited supply. We're only taking a few because I want to be able to personally personalize this training for the ones that show up. So show up.
I'm telling you, because that one exercise alone, the one that is warm, I'm not even going to tell you what it is, but the one that has a temperature going on with that alone is enough to be like, wait, what? Because you get that confidence, and you get that so much confidence that you're like, ask me. I want somebody to ask me what I do. I can't wait to tell you.
Yeah.
It's just so good. I was on with Dr. Obiama Martin last night because she's one of my coaches, and she was saying how people will bait you, right? She's like, just that's when you just speak to that spirit and say, I'm not hungry. And I was like, well, I like that.
Ooh, I
So
do.
when somebody tries it, because they're gonna try it, I'm not hungry. I'm not even going to take the bait. I'm not, because I am here. I'm on assignment and I can't let anybody stop me from doing that. I have a limited amount of time to get my assignment done. I cannot be stopping on this road for any foolishness.
Well, I
So
tell you
no, I'm
what.
not going to work for the phone company. No, I'm going to sit right here in what God told me, 10 toes down, and do this thing no matter what it looks like. In fact, I believe that part of that journey looks extra crazy to people just as a testing of your faith to see like if
Right.
you hold on to it. How long are you going to be able to tell them be quiet? I know it looks crazy, but this is what I'm going to do.
That's so good. And I want to do another cute small superhero spotlight with Shawnee Smith. This lady here would not speak up at any cost. And now her confidence is built on solid foundation. She knows exactly who she is. She knows exactly what she's doing most of the time. No, she knows exactly what she should be doing. And that's her assignment, as she said. But it wasn't always for her or I. And so I'm saying to you out there, if you don't know what your assignment is, we can clarify that for you. There are techniques and strategies that will help you to be heard, to be seen, to be able to make an impact, and to walk away with the confidence, techniques, and tools that you can build upon and make your statement to the world that you are who you are confidently, clearly, confidently, and concisely. I can't tell you how fantastic this event is. We did this event in a couple of weeks ago for the Small Business Supplier Diversity Organization. And the response was overwhelming. Like,
Absolutely.
I needed more time to work with them. And my clients say the same thing. I wish you had more time to work with us in this event. I'm telling you, it's something that you will never forget and something that you will take with you going forward for the rest of your life. That
The
will be able
pre-work
to,
alone
yeah,
gets you going to a place where you're like, oh, wait. It really allows you to self-reflect, be accountable, because once you recognize what's going on, you can start to fix it. This is another one of those things that get you right in line. I'm 2.5 times on that book. So it's hard because you have to really determine it because you have heard so many different things, and we keep going back to, or at least I did, keep going back to, well, where would the money be?
right,
All right, so I can do this, this, and this, and this. This one pays the most. I'm gonna go that route,
right.
and it's
And you don't have to
generally
see the whole
not the route.
staircase. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Martin Luther King says you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take one step.
Yeah.
One step towards your own personal, professional self-development. I'm glad you brought that book up. We're going into the second edition of that book, and it's been helpful to a lot of people. I did not realize how impactful it was. So many people have chimed in and said that it helped them to solidify their passion. And
And
that's,
what if you didn't do it?
yeah.
Now, what if you didn't do it?
Well, I have to thank Dr. Eric Kelly for that also, because he asked me the question, you're a speaker, you don't have a book. And that was the
What if
first
you
book.
didn't do it?
I could have not
What if
done
you
it, right?
didn't do the anthologies?
Yeah.
I would have never gotten a chance to tell my story. I probably would have taken it to the grave with me.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. And I would not have been able to heal from the release of my story.
That's the part, Shawnee, was so important to me, that people healed during the journey of writing their book with me. That was the part that was most important. So I'm glad to hear you say that. Yeah.
And I'm not just saying it. Like, it was literally like, whoa, what a relief. I wrote it. I feel good. I let that out. And then
Until it got published.
Until it got published. And then I was like, wait a minute. People are going to know what I wrote. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for the judgment.
That's part of the writing process, boo.
Right. But I wasn't ready for the judgment. And guess what? All that mess, I put it on myself. I rehearsed all that foolishness myself and made up all these scenarios about who was going to be whispering, who was going to be looking, all this stuff, shame that I just created for myself. And none of that happened. In fact, they were like, thank you for telling that story. I can relate, or I know somebody who's going through it, or I'm able to have a different level of compassion when somebody is going through that.
Right.
We don't even know. These things seem so hard.
We don't know.
But they weren't just for you.
And they're never just for you.
Eyeliner today.
What we go.
I'm not going to say any more about that story, but
what we go
not for you.
Is never for us. Is never for us. And we have to understand that. So if you're interested in writing a book, reach out to us. Support at BarbaraSmith.com. Also, if you would like to be a guest on this show, we do have surprise guests. We do have guests come on a regular basis. Please reach out. Where did they go, Shani?
Support at BarbaraHSmith.com. Did you like that? I kind of sang that a little bit. I can't sing, but I'm saying. Listen, I want you to understand how much control you truly have over what you think. No matter what it looks like out there, that's the outside world. In the inner world, you have control over your emotions.
You're the boss.
And know that there's a warrior within. Now, come to the training next Thursday so we can help you unleash that. Because it's time. It's time. It's literally time.
2024 is the year of more of what you have inside.
More collaborations, just everything. Come on, you know the Proverbs. You want to go fast, you go alone. You want to go far, you go together. Listen,
that's an African proverb. I love it. I love it. I love it. What else we got, Shadi, before we get out of here?
I was going to say, I'm preaching. I'm about to drop my Cash App in there so you guys put a little something in the collection plate for me today. No, I'm just kidding. we have so much going on. I need you to stay connected. Follow us, like us, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on social media because we're always doing something to help lift others up. You don't have to be lonely at the top when you do what?
Bring people with you. No. That's what we do. That's what we do. We bring others along. We bring others along. We're so grateful. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much to our sponsors out there. Thank you so much to Mark Lee, who's behind the scenes, who keeps us going. If you're struggling to be seen and heard, come to the training next week, Thursday, February the 8th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You won't want to miss this power-packed plethora of information, techniques, skills, and tips that we're going to give you to level up your game, collaborate with some people in 2024. Thank you, Shani Smith, for always being the director of operations and helping the organizations grow. I appreciate you more than you could ever possibly know. That's our time. You know what time it is. It's time for you to step into your greatness because the world is really waiting for you. That's our time. Shani, you got a last outtake?
I think that says it all. It really is. It really is. Somebody is waiting for you to be who you are authentically so they can do the same. It's not just for you.
Not just for you. But that's our time.
See you next week.